Minawa is a territorial study of the Shell Rock River watershed by Grace Kelly and Jakob Mahla. The Shell Rock River watershed straddles both Minnesota and Iowa, situated within both states' dense agricultural land and geopolitical borders.
The watershed was formed by the Des Moines Lobe Glacier that left a prairie and wetland environment as it retreated. In the 1900s, settlers started to turn the prairie into farmland and define the territory through arbitrary property lines and an imposing township grid. One settlement that had formed in the watershed was Albert Lea, which situated itself at the headwaters of the Shell Rock River. Settlers of Albert Lea continued expanding cropland around the area and dammed the water, resulting in the creation of Fountain Lake. Today, the city has expanded to engulf the headwaters, with people largely using the lake for various recreational activities such as boating and fishing. Agriculture is the predominant land used within the watershed and a major polluter that uses artificial drainage to leach chemicals into the water. These pollutants flow down the Shell Rock River across state borders. Multiple forms of industry intersect in Albert Lea, contributing to the already overpollution found in the area. An unpermitted wastewater treatment plant dumps hazardous chemicals directly into Albert Lea Lake.
During the spring, when the snow is melting and the road salt from the previous season is being drained into the lake, the ground is being prepped and fertilized for the next growing season of corn and soy. In the summer, we see an influx in population as people visit their seasonal homes. Algae is blooming in the water and the monoculture of crops is growing taller with the help of pesticides sprayed by crop dusters. The fall brings the growing season to an end as crops are harvested. Simultaneously, while the trees are losing their leaves, snowbirds are leaving their summer homes for warmer climates. As winter approaches, what was once a booming fishing destination, Albert Lea Lake is now so shallow that the fish are unable to survive a frozen winter.
While there are major connections within the watershed itself, we find the separation between Iowa and Minnesota to be the most engaging. By focusing solely on the Minnesotan portion of the watershed, it still doesn't address the whole territory, as these pieces play roles between state borders. We see this as a major point of intervention between two states to think about the watershed as being a single territory rather than a fragmented one.
From our research of the watershed, we propose these questions. How can a watershed boundary influence geopolitical borders that benefit the watershed as a whole rather than fragmenting it? How can agriculture respond to organic watershed conditions rather than a rational predetermined grid? And lastly, who has the right to make decisions that affect the entire watershed?